So Kelsey Mitchell obviously did her exit interview. Everyone's done their exit interviews with the Indiana Fever. Everyone has done them. And this exit interview has quite a few fans worried. In my opinion, I would not be worried when it comes to Kelsey Mitchell. Because if Kelsey Mitchell wants to be in Indiana, Kelsey Mitchell will be in Indiana.
What occurs when a team wins a championship? Over time, dreams die, and then they awaken to discover that their roster has nearly totally disappeared? That is the truth. For the Indiana Fever in 2026, their amazing season ended. Screaming stop in a fifth game. The WNBA semifinals were a heartbreaker. Moreover, the emphasis now shifts from the court to the front desk, an enormous league-wide. Every team is facing a problem as ongoing discussions about a new collective bargaining agreements are that almost all seasoned players. There will be free agents in the WNBA.
This is the current 2025 Indiana Fever roster. Now, do I believe their roster will remain the same for the next coming months? No. Certain players will be leaving this basketball team, but I believe some big names is going to leave this team this year, and we're going to be very surprised who leaves.
This is more than a roster shuffle. It's a total reset for the Fever. It indicates that the group that was recently, technically, the finals are just minutes away, is no longer in existence. As of right now, there are just 3 players who are formally under agreement for the 2026 campaign. Everybody. If not, there is a question mark. Now let's take a rest. Down the player in the entire scenario by player to determine who could be in 2026 sporting a Fever jersey. The most obvious first name is Clark Caitlin. She is among those 3 players who are assured a berth. She will be starting her 3rd season as a rookie contract, an agreement that will give her a $85,873 in pay. Although she is considered to be among the greatest and the most well-liked players in the whole league, her 2025 campaign was a annoying one. A number of distinct. She only played in 13 games due to injury. Significant setback for a club that depends so mostly on her skill. During the games she did play, and she was outstanding, averaging 5.0 rebounds, 16.5 points, and a amazing 8.8 assists per game. Additionally, the front desk of the Fever will contain a choice to make about her future. After 2026, they must pick up her rookie contracts, a team option for the season of 2027. That action would confine her for an additional year with a guaranteed $97,582 in wages. Considering her franchise status, cornerstone, choosing that choice is probably the simplest choice they'll make. To complete the off-season, the team's 2026 locked-in player is Aaliyah Boston, anchor in the paint. She is yet another of the fundamental components for this group, and the Fever have already selected her team preference for the last year of her rookie deal. In contrast to Clark, Boston had a robust and excellent 2025 season, including one of her greatest performances whole professional life. Indeed, she was quite talented, that she presented a compelling argument to be called an all-WNBA player, which is evidence of her impact on the floor's 2 ends. The season averages were outstanding, gaining 8.2 rebounds, scoring 15 points, and providing 3.7 assists every game. She was given a berth by her skill and consistency as an all-star for the 3rd time in a row season, solidifying her place as one of the top bigs in the league. Her off-season will be equally as busy as usual season. She is scheduled to perform in the upcoming unparalleled league and will additionally putting oneself in front of the camera, providing as a Big Ten analyst for Peacock and NBC for her 2026 endeavors. She's going to earn $94,740 from the certain fever on her agreement. The third and last participant, Michaela, is formally under contract. Timpson. She was the 19th member of the team overall selection in the WNBA draft of 2025, and she accomplished what many novices are unable to do. She remained on the roster for the whole season. Timpson's position within the group was somewhat of a roller coaster. Her minutes varied during the regular season as she became accustomed to playing professionally. But when the postseason got underway, a chance presented itself with Damiris. Dantas was excluded since they were in the protocol for concussions. Timpson received a call, expected to take on a far larger role, and she accepted the task. During the regular season, she averaged 1.8 rebounds and 2.6 points in almost 7 minutes for each match. Similar to many young, she won't be taking the off. Players take a season off. She has a scheduled performance overseas in Turkey to keep refining her abilities.
A lot of these women go overseas to play for more money. I believe they make more money overseas than they make over here. So I will be kind of reacting to different players going overseas that is playing for the Indiana Fever. Now, Michaela Timpson is the first one to go. Now, we do know Kelsey Mitchell actually played overseas last year, and I believe she got hurt too going over there. She hurt her finger or something.
By 2026, she will be in her second year of her rookie contract, receiving a salary of $70,653. We now transition from the certainty to the may, and this is the point at which complex, following the completion of all 4 years of her initial deal with a Fever, Lexi Hall is about to enter the league year in 2026 as a limited free agent. This category is extremely narrow. Only athletes with precisely 4 years of service time qualify for this status. For the Fever to continue to rights to her, they have to extend what's referred to as a limited qualifying offer. Should Hull is still able to communicate when they do that with and accept the offer of a contract from various groups. But the Fever receives the last word. They are entitled to first refusal, allowing Indiana to match. She signs an offer sheet with another team, and she would need to remain. It offers the home team a significant edge in discussions. Hull earned $88,261 in 2025. In the last year of her rookie contract, she demonstrated her worth to the group, particularly in the latter part of the season. Following, Sophie Cunningham was defeated by an injury in August. Hull was promoted to a full-time starter and was instrumental in role throughout their postseason run, even overcoming a back issue to remain on the court. She averaged this season 4.3 rebounds and 7.2 points, demonstrating she is a dependable and gritty wing player. The team's offensive engine comes next, and one of the league's MVP finalists, Kelsey Mitchell, this season's award. She is preparing for the off-season as an free agent without restrictions, which on the surface implies that she might sign with any squad that she desires. But the Fever has a potent instrument at their disposal, the core designation. Considering the guidelines for the key players remain the same in the new collective bargaining contract, the Fever is able to attach the core tag to Mitchell. This would be the second, and this is their last opportunity to do so. Indiana would benefit from using the core tag. Exclusive authority to negotiate with her. They have to give her the supermax pay, the maximum amount that can be earned. How much money a gamer can make. Mitchell was the center of this season's fever, particularly when the group was struck by several wounds. She was dependable, scoring machine over the entire year, turning into the first player in history of the Fever series to typically exceed 20 points every game, culminating with an amazing 20.2 average. She performed the 2025 season with a fundamental qualifying offer. This gave her the extremely high income of $249,244. She also got a $20,000 leave of absence bonus from the group. Currently, even if she has a temperature, but it's not an absolute. Make sure she stays. It would continue to be. Mitchell might be able to make a move if she was desperate to get away. We observed comparable circumstances occur prior to the season in 2025 when Alyssa Thomas and Sadhu Sabali was able to plan deals following their credibility. Corresponding teams, but every indication indicate Mitchell's desire to remain in Indiana, as she has expressed great admiration for Stephanie White, the head coach, and her favorable encounter with the group this season. Additionally, the Fever's roster included a distinct tale in Chloe BBY, a mid-season rookie, age 27. Addition. She initially became a member of the team on a contract for 7 days starting on July 25th. Following, the Fever impressed the coaching staff, signed her to a contract for the remainder of the season. August 1st, she entered and exited the rotation for around a month prior to her. The season ended abruptly when she hurt her knee while warming up before the game. August 22nd. Early in September, she was declared ineligible for the rest of the season. Among the 9, she averaged 3.9 in the games she played, 1.2 rebounds and points. Due to BBY's less than 3 years of employment in the league, she will be referred to as a reserve free agent. This situation is extremely cooperative. The Fever can prolong BBY, a qualified reserve offer, which is a unprotected 1-year contract with the league. Minimal wage. Should they extend the offer, BBY wouldn't be able to bargain with any other groups. She might attempt to bargain at a higher price with the Fever pay, but she wouldn't have any negotiating power from outside proposals. Among the crucial, Natasha was a seasoned team leader. Howard has been in the league for 12 years. She signed a contract with a maximum term of 1 year worth $214,466. During the season of 2025, she was a constant in the starting lineup beginning each just one game for the Fever, but her minutes frequently varied based on the defensive matchups and the opponent. On the court, playing with Aaliyah. In the front court, Boston averaged 6.6 rebounds, 1.5 points, and 11.4 points. Helps. Her worth extended beyond the box score, as numerous athletes and coaches on the Fever have commended her veteran expertise and leadership throughout the season. She is now an unconstrained free agent starting the league season in 2026. In contrast to Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever, the core designation cannot be used on Howard, since she's already exhausted all of her career's eligible core years. This implies that she has total freedom to join any team, and the Fever must engage in open market competition if their goal is to get her back. An additional key. A player with an unclear future is Cunningham, Sophie. She first arrived through a deal with the Fever following her. Had previously agreed to a 1-year contract. Contract renewal with the Phoenix Mercury for a $100,000 contract for the 2025 season. In Indiana, her first season was greatly hindered by injuries. She overcame an ankle injury during the start of the season, followed by a torn MCL ended the year, experienced on August 17th, which caused throughout the remainder of the season and the postseason. In spite of the obstacles, she played 30 games, starting 13 of them, averaging 3.5 rebounds and 8.6 points per game. Similar to Howard, Cunningham is an unrestricted free agent prior to 2026, allowing her to freely explore every choice she had. The team's main, Damaris Dantes, the backup center, is also when her contract expires. She was in the second year of a 2-year contract with the Fever, and her pay in 2025 was $100,000. She was the primary backup to Aaliyah Boston for the previous 2 years, giving crucial time away from the bench. Sadly, her season was over on a negative note because she didn't attend the whole playoff run because to a concussion she suffered on September 11th. She also missed 6 games in a row in late June and the first part of July, when she departed the team to represent her nation of origin, Brazil, in the American Cup competition. Dans is going to be a free agent with no restrictions during the off-season, adding a new name to the Fever's extensive roster of players must decide on something. The wound, the germ that caused the Fever, also struck their back court, producing Sydney Carlson is questionable. She was signed a 1-year contract worth $90,000 to act as a focal point at Caitlin Clark's point guard behind her and to give a really young person a seasoned voice group. She even briefly served as a starting during Clark's absence due to an harm. Later, she went back to her bench role following Ari McDonald's signing by the team. She participated in 30 games overall, beginning 6 of them prior to her suffering a terrible ACL injury on August 7th. That wound ended her life right away. Season. During her tenure on the court, she averaged 2 assists and 2.4 points. Carlson will have unlimited access to agent during the off-season, although she also has a protracted ACL recuperation process ahead of her. That period for rehabilitation may knock her out for the majority, if not the entire 2026 WNBA season, which will undoubtedly make her free agency. Ari McDonald possessed one of the most. This season, it's a Fever on twisty roads. She had a difficult beginning to her adventure contract and concluded with the remainder of the season deal. At first, she joined with the team on a deal for emergency hardship on June 1st, when Cunningham and Clark were absent due to injuries, but she had to be made available following just 3 games on June 13th. This occurred as a result of both Clark. Then Cunningham went back into action and, according to league regulations, the Fever were no longer qualified for an emergency hardship exception. However, the group enjoyed what? After seeing her, they signed her back on a normal contract for the remainder of the season in June 25th, guaranteeing her place in the rest of 2025. Then, in yet another brutal, unexpected turn of events for the group, McDonald. In August, she shattered a bone in her right foot. Carlson's ACL tear occurred on the 7th, leaving her outside for the remainder of the season as well. In the game she was a potent scorer, averaged 2.4 or 9.8 points. McDonald is currently an unlimited three-heading space. With all of the points injuries, guard posture, the Fever had to bring in reinforcements, which resulted in the Odyssey Saints coming. She signed a hardship contract with the team, waiver on August 10th, entering into a desperate circumstance with all of the top 3 point guards in Indiana. She was thrown into the fire right away. The challenge of winning. Following a brief, after a period of adjustment, she began to shine. Her position. Her final average was 10.4 points, 3.8 assists, and 2.4 rebounds, supplying the necessary crew with a steady hand. The greatest. Based on her hoop statistics, she earned $21,860 in total from Fever for her efforts in the latter part of the season. In the future, Sims will be in free agency without restrictions in 2026. The squad wasn't finished. Petty Shah was the second hint of suffering from the Fever, who joined the group on August 19th. She was called in to offer the Fever a backup point guard and an additional seasoned player. The presidency. Ever since signing, Petty has participated in rotating management, averaging 2.1 assists and 5.1 points. For her contributions, Indiana gave Petty about $15,088 this season. Similar to the other emergency signings, she'll be in free agency without restrictions in 2026. The wave of injuries wasn't restricted to the backcourt. After Sophie Cunningham's injury that ended his season, on August 23rd, Fever signed Aerial Powers to offer essential backup depth at the location of the wings. She has participated in the rotation since her arrival, averaging 3.9 rebounds and 7.4 points in her brief tenure on the team. She received $13,249 from this season's Fever and will also begin the off-season as an unlimited free agent. And lastly, there are the inquisitive Bree Hall's case. The Fever owned her own 20th selection in the 2025 draft, but she was let go by the squad during training camp. She stayed mostly signed for the majority of the season. However, she did sign a hardship agreement with the Golden State Valkyries prior to the onset of Fever making a call. In the end, Indiana signed her to their own hardship agreement on September 1st. The rookies return to the group that drafted her first to give the last playoff depth push. What does all of this mean, then? It refers to the Indiana Fever, a group that was one overtime period during which they were not playing for a WNBA title, is up against a huge off-season with just Clark. Timpson is under contract with Boston. The front office needs to be completely rebuilt. Every member of the supporting cast. They possess a Kelsey Mitchell, a franchise player, can probably maintain the core tag, and a important figure in Lexi Hall. They have the ability to match any offer, but everyone else, including the season starters, to the emergency signings that prevent their walking, is free throughout this season. The latest, a collective bargaining agreement is suspended over each choice, possibly altering the contract and salary cap, frameworks and guidelines for team building. The Indiana Fever's future will be determined not by the court, but in the rooms for negotiations. What do you believe? Should a Fever be sufficient? Who are the musky people, players, and who ought to be let go? Look into other possibilities. Tell us about your comment below with your ideas. If you delighted in this thorough examination of the Fever's chaotic offseason, please do us a great favor and press the like button. Make sure to turn on and subscribe to the channel alerts to ensure you never miss our most recent WNBA news and analysis. Your support enables us to produce more content exactly like this. Thank you for viewing, and we'll see you in the upcoming